morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Lisa Green with a look at what's behind me here, the beautiful northern lights that we saw last night. For those of you who saw my post on Facebook about starting at 10:30, sorry for the delay, I just had so many pictures to comb through, and there's so many more great ones that I won't be able to show. So we want you to take a look at those on our gallery. I'll pull that up for you coming up in just a little bit. But let's get to it. I want to see some of these northern lights photos that we have been getting in from you, our viewers. First of all, this one kind of tells the story of the day yesterday. It was Veterans Day, and we ended up with quite the show. And you can see the red and green. There was even some blue, kind of like the colors of the flag, with the beautiful glow that showed last night. This was in the Hitterdal area. Felicia, thank you so much for sharing this photo with us. I'm going to move ahead and then just go back really quick just to show you the full picture here. Just a really cool shot here. And then I just zoomed in to show you the full, have the colors fill the screen there. Okay, let's move to the next one. We saw a lot of red and green there. Look at this. There's the blue, there's green, there's purple in this shot. This was from Tina. Not sure where this was, but thank you so much for taking this photo and sharing it with us. And then in addition to that, another great one. This one was sent to us this was another one, I'm not sure where it's from, but it was from the Harvest. And this was the reds and greens as well. Rick has sent this to us, and he called it the Harvest Delight, and I love that. It was a Northern Lights delight last night. And so I want to talk about how auroras form. So, you know, we saw all those colors there. We're going to talk about how those colors also show up differently and what causes them to be the way that they are here. So here's a look at how this all gets going. So let's start with the Earth here. The Earth has a magnetic field around it. It's invisible, but it helps to deflect the radiation and energy from the sun and protects us from the intensity of it. And so, you know, you can see the field here kind of surrounding the Earth like a shield. But there are some pockets here where, you know, it's kind of weaker, and that's at the poles here. So that's the magnetic field. Let's take a look at the sun. So the last few days, there have been 2 solar flares. There was a big one that happened, I believe it was yesterday, and that one triggered that strong geomagnetic storm. And that was what helped to produce the northern lights that we're seeing from here down to the Gulf Coast. We had reports in Louisiana, reports in Florida of northern lights. Just incredible that we were able to see it that far south. And of course, here in the valley, they were right over us. So sometimes, you know, you see northern lights, they're just on that distant northern horizon. Well, this time they were right above us, and we got some incredible views of that because of the fact that they were so far south. And so I digress. Let's get back to our diagram here. But so we're looking at charged protons and electrons that are emitted from the sun. And that's pretty constant with the solar wind, but sometimes you get these solar flares, and they shoot out what's called solar or coronal mass ejections. And if they're earthbound, if they're headed to Earth, then they could have the potential to impact us, satellites, GPS, that sort of thing, but also to bring us the aurora. And so that's what we saw here. We saw the sun's rays, the solar wind, hit the magnetic field. Now we'll move ahead, and then those particles get deflected around the magnetic field. But remember, I said there's a weak spot. And they enter the Earth's atmosphere. As they deflect around, they enter the Earth's atmosphere where the field is weakest, at the poles. And so again, that's where we tend to see the northern lights. And so, and if they're strong enough, they can make their way all the way down to the ground. So those electrons, those charged particles that we were talking about, they collide with different molecules that are in the atmosphere. And so when that happens, that excites those molecules. They start to move really fast, and then they start to glow or produce a light. And it depends on the type of molecule and where it is at the level in the atmosphere, what type of light it produces. And so here's a diagram here of what kind of light we see with different molecules and different levels of the atmosphere. So if you see red auroras, those are often very high up. All of these auroras are pretty high up, but this one is higher. It's above 124 miles above the Earth's surface. Keep in mind, we live in the troposphere, and that goes up to 10 miles above the surface, and that's it. That's where we live. That's where our weather is, all of that. And so this is way up there. And red auroras occur that high up, and when it interacts, when that solar wind interacts with oxygen molecules. So if you had red auroras, that's what you were seeing. Blue and green auroras happen at kind of the same level, between 62, 64, and up to 124 miles up, so kind of in that middle range. And blue auroras happen when the solar wind interacts with nitrogen molecules, green auroras with the oxygen molecules. And we're very familiar with the green auroras, of course, here. That's the one that we often see, the color. And then some of us got to see pink auroras, and those happen below 62 miles up. And that is when the solar wind interacts with nitrogen molecules. That's also a sign of how far down that solar wind got, how far into the atmosphere it got to be able to see pink auroras. And in fact, according to folks who are bigger experts on this than me, this was considered a ground level event, and that's pretty rare from what I understand, and that means that they made their way all the way to the ground here, and that's just how strong this storm was. So taking a look at another diagram, this one comes from NASA, shows the same thing, but in a little bit different way. You can see the red, the green, the pink. And so it's above that 120 miles here where you see these purple streaks. That's the electrons shooting into the upper atmosphere. They run into an oxygen atom, and then it starts to glow red. If they make it farther south, if they run into a nitrogen atom, that glows blue. And a secondary electron hits the oxygen atoms, which glows green there. And that's, again, into the middle part of the upper atmosphere. And then you see the nitrogen molecules growing pink under 60 miles. So that kind of gives you a diagram of how that looks when that happens here. So, again, this is courtesy of NASA with that diagram as well. So let's take a look at some of your pictures that kind of help to tell the story on this. Look at this one here. This is from Pheasant Lake in the Ellendale area. Debbie sent us this photo, and you can see the green glowing nice and bright, but also the pink, and that is a little bit lower there in the atmosphere. And sometimes that as this is happening, you can get a mix, one overlapping another, and so that can kind of, just like with colors when we look at, watercolor paints and that sort of thing, you get one overlapping another, and that creates a different color. So we've got reds and pinks, we've got some greens, some blues, even it looks like a little bit of yellow here in that segment of this view of the northern lights. Just an incredible picture. And again, purples we saw earlier. So this was sent to us from Roseau. Barb sent us this photo. So both sides of the valley, northeast up by Roseau, southwest down by Ellendale, all experience the northern lights. I even got a picture from Sisseton that's in our gallery. I didn't get to share it with you. Speaking of gallery, let's take a look at that now. It's been really cool to see these photos come in. So here's our homepage. I just want to show you how to get here. So there's our weather text, a little video there, and it's just to the right. There's this little section here called Weather Pictures, and you can select on this to add your own media if you want. So if you took some pictures and you want to share them, you can do that right here, or you can scroll through our gallery and you can see all of these incredible Northern Lights pictures. This one is just the very faint lights, but then they really start to streak in this view. And that was uploaded about an hour ago. Again, just more incredible views here. I really love seeing those. I love pictures, Northern Lights pictures with things in the foreground. So the American flag there in Kindred. Thank you, Lindsay. Amanda Moss, another American flag there with the Northern Lights behind it. I'm just going to scroll through more of these quickly and just show you the different colors. There's the red and then the green under it. And, some streaks that glow brighter than others. It's really cool to see them dance if you get a chance to do that. And because these were overhead, you could see it almost looks like they're coming straight down at you with some of these photos, which is pretty incredible. And they kind of are in a way if you're directly underneath them. And then another view here, it looks like there's some mixing going on or overlapping perhaps. And that was in the Fairmount area. And then Billy shared this one, not sure where that was. And then again, more colors of purple or blue there mixed in with some green and pink. And it was just incredible. And we've got so many more of these great photos that you can check out by going to our gallery as well. And some of them have multiple photos that were uploaded that you can scroll through too. So again, just wanted to show you that. Look at that. That's incredible. It's like a Rorschach test here, trying to make out what we see there. And so, here's one with a video, or it looks like a slideshow. Yes, that's a slideshow between some pictures. So again, thank you everyone for sharing your photos. They were fantastic, and we may have more here. Let me see if I have any more to show you, or that might be it. Oh, no, okay, no, I don't have any more to show you. This is another way to upload your photos on our weather app. If you we'll go back again. just to make sure that we've got it, the explanation for you. So the weather app, all you have to do is go to the home screen, the bottom says submit here. Just click on that, and that'll open up the same kind of view. This is the weather page, shows this weather pictures menu, and then click on add media to add media straight from your phone. That's nice and easy to be able to do that there. So anyway, I did want to just say thank you so much to everybody for submitting your photos. There's so many more I just haven't even had a chance to go through that I'll be sharing, hopefully over the next couple of days. And we will continue to monitor for more northern lights tonight. So that is a possibility. Let's take a look at how things are right now, though, and then we'll get into tonight. So it's clear, it's sunny out there, nice and bright and blue. The camera's shaking a bit. It is on the windy side. We're looking at temperatures that are in the low to some upper 40s already. And wind chills that are going to be a factor, some wind chills into the 30s here this afternoon, or this morning heading into this afternoon. And then here's our wind speeds, not terrible, but still gusting into the 20s in spots. We've got, and one gust to 30 in Baudette. So there are some areas where it's still pretty windy, starting to ease up out to central and western parts of North Dakota. You see that calm report in Bismarck. So that'll be great to have happen. And working our way through the day, it's quiet, it's clear. Just a few clouds drifting through here this morning and into midday. So afternoon planner will be low to upper 40s to around 50 degrees for your high. And you can see lots of areas getting some sun. Where we may get a few more clouds is to the west, but looking more partly cloudy than mostly cloudy. So that's good news for viewing, sky viewing tonight. And looking at our forecast here, you can see that we've got wind speeds that are going to come down. We've got gusts into the upper 20s, dropping down into the low 20s by 5 o'clock, and then looking at lack of gusts here heading into tonight. So really easing up, perfect for being outside. Last night it was a bit breezy and chilly to be out aurora viewing last night. It was incredible last night to be able to see them at 7 o'clock in the evening. They were so bright. I heard from lots of people saying they're the brightest they had ever seen. I certainly hadn't seen so many red colors before, and it was a really cool view. So I'm hoping we can get that for you again here tonight. So here's a look at our forecast. It's clear, it's quiet through midday. Heading into the afternoon, this is 3 p.m., you can see some areas of clouds, but again, more partly cloudy. So initially, it may be a little cloudy at times. In some areas, you can see there's large areas where we're clear. And then that kind of breaks up, and we see more and more clearing going on into the later hours tonight. This is 11 p.m., more on the clear side at that point. And then continuing on as we head into tomorrow morning, keeping things fairly quiet and clear, just a couple of clouds moving through. So let's take a look at our aurora forecast. This is from NOAA, so this comes from the experts, and we're looking at conditions that are looking pretty good for aurora viewing. A reminder, this is called the aurora oval in the forecast, and here's your likelihood of aurora. So it's low outside of the green areas, it's higher in the red areas. And just if you can't see very well, this is North Dakota right here, and then Minnesota, northern half of Minnesota. So essentially this area right here is where we are in the Red River Valley. And so we're in the green. Now, last night it was farther south. So what I'm thinking may happen here is that we'll still see aurora. It just may not be right overhead. It may be a little farther north, but we'll still have a view if this scenario pans out. So something to look out for tonight, and still a good opportunity at seeing the aurora. If you don't see them, I unfortunately didn't bring that into my show here, but I do have a picture of some of the aurora from last night, and it includes what looks like a meteor going through the shot as well, because it was a longer exposure, was able to pick it up. And we do have the potential of seeing some meteors too. It's, I believe, the Taurid meteor shower that we're heading into this week, so something to look out for. Those can produce fireballs a little more likely. Lots of interesting things to see in the sky, even beyond the northern lights heading into tonight. So let's take a look at our forecast here over the coming days. We've got temperatures that are going to be mild today and tomorrow. Heading into Friday, we've got 60 degrees, but the problem is the wind. If you're looking for a day this week that is going to be not windy, Thursday is your day. And then heading into Friday, we're looking at 60 and windy. And that leads up to a chance for some showers late Friday and into Saturday. And then moving on into the weekend, you can see Saturday, a chance for some showers. Sunday looks to be into the low 40s, so we'll see that system kind of sweep by, and then some cooler air moving in behind it, relatively speaking, though still mild heading into next week. And by mild, I don't mean it's going to be comfortable. You can stand and hang outside in a t-shirt. I mean, some people might think it's fine, but I think most folks would want a jacket for these kind of temperatures. By mild, I mean that it's going to be close to average, in fact, right at average for highs. So what we would expect to see this time of year. And there is, one of our longer range models is hinting at a system for early next week, Monday into Tuesday or Wednesday. So that's something we're going to be watching out for. Not a lot of confidence on that one right now. One model showing it, one model isn't showing it at all. So we're going to watch for that and keep you posted as we head into the forecast. But next chance for rain comes Friday night, though it doesn't look like a round that's going to be heavy or long in duration, we'll say here, Friday night and into early Saturday. So again, I'm excited about the aurora that we saw last night, if you couldn't tell. Hopefully you were too. It's great to see those kind of things. A bucket list item for a lot of people. And hopefully we get to see them tonight. If you missed them last night, you can do so. Hopefully head out and see it. And if not, you can see our gallery. Go to our gallery and see all of the great photos that other folks were able to go out and get last night. So again, happy viewing, happy sky watching, and we'll be back here again tomorrow to show any more pictures that may come in from tonight's round. Have a great Wednesday.